age where every question seems to be answered by a quick search, where the internet offers a buffet of facts and opinions, and where artificial intelligence can generate text, images, and decisions in milliseconds. We are more informed than ever before, but paradoxically, we are not wiser. The more information we collect, the harder it becomes to distinguish truth from fiction, wisdom from noise, signal from static. The core premise of this essay is deceptively simple. Humans are connected by information networks shaped by narratives rather than objective reality. This assertion challenges our faith in the Enlightenment idea that knowledge and reason are the highest human virtues. It suggests that the stories we tell, our myth, ideologies, religions, and political beliefs hold more sway over our actions and relationships than any objective truth could be. From the earliest ages of civilization, human beings have relied on stories to make sense of the world. These stories weren't just entertainment, they were the glue of social cohesion, the tale of a god creating the universe in 7 days, the myth of a hero slaying a monster to save a city, the belief in an afterlife that rewards virtue and punishes sin. All of these are narratives, not falsifiable theories, but shared beliefs that offer purpose, identity, and unity. What's crucial to understand here is that these narratives didn't require empirical proof. In fact, the power often came from the resistance to evidence. A scarce myth is not designed to be tested, but to be believed. And belief, more than proof, is what binds human beings together. Human-made stories are perceived as scarce and remain unchallenged by facts or statistics, serving as a fundamental force that binds people together. This phenomenon continues in our modern circular age. Nationalism, capitalism, socialism. Each of these is underpinned by a set of values and beliefs that function much like religious myth. They gave people identity and a sense of belonging, but they are not objective truth. They are frameworks of interpretation. They are narratives on the subjective reality. Now, let's talk about information. In theory, accumulating information should help us better understand the world. If we gather enough data, perform enough analysis, and draw enough conclusions, we should get closer to the truth. But that's not what we see happening. Despite the exponential growth in data and computational power, humans continue to act irrationally, believe in conspiracy theories, and fall prey to tribalism and ideology. Why? Because information alone is not enough. Information is just a tool, a linguistic device used to describe reality. In itself, it holds no wisdom. It is inert until activated by context, intention, and interpretation. The modern era has given us a deluge of information. We are constantly bombarded with news, posts, statistics, and headlines, but the result is not greater clarity, it is greater confusion. The sheer quantity of information does not equate to wisdom. In the modern age, information is volatile and oversaturated, making true knowledge increasingly difficult to discern. Throughout history, information has been concisely wielded as a tool for manipulation and control. The spread of propaganda, the censorship of dissent, the construction of national mythologies all show how information can be curated to serve power and dominance. Consider the case of Nazi Germany or Stalinist Russia. Both regimes were elected or sustained by belief systems that relied heavily on narrative control. In these societies, information was not about seeking the truth, but about reinforcing a particular worldview. Delusional stories often succeed due to the indoctrination nature of myth. But that's why we saw the rule of Hitler and Stalin elected by democratic elections. This brings us to the naive view of information, which posits that the problem of misinformation can be solved simply by adding more information. If lies are the problem, then more facts must be the solution. But this belief misunderstands how human cognition works. People do not process information like machines. They interpret it through the lens of identity, emotion, and biases. The result? When confronted with facts that challenge their beliefs, humans often become more entrenched, not less. The naive view examines the problem of false accusation to be a quantity of problem. So if accumulated with enough information, truth will prevail. This ideology aligns with the capitalist idea of free market competition. If everyone has equal access to information, the best ideas would naturally rise to the top. But reality is more complex. In a world of infinite content, attention becomes the scariest resource. And the most sensational, not the most truthful, ideas tend to prevail. The rise of artificial intelligence has accelerated the flow of information to previously unimaginable speeds. AI can generate, translate, analyze, and even fabricate information on demand. This brings incredible opportunities but also profound risks. The development and proliferation of AI, far from a risk that we should fear, is a moral obligation that we have to ourselves, to our children, and to our future. AI could be the biggest upgrade of mankind, or it could be the beginning of annihilation of mankind. With AI, we can map genomes, optimize supply chains, and personalize education. But we can also create deepfakes, spread disinformation, and wage cyber warfare. The same tool that empowers can also destroy. Bigger power leads to bigger destruction. The development of AI requires trust and faith in algorithms we don't have control over. As we build machines that can think and learn, we must ask, what narratives are we programming into them? Are they extensions of human wisdom or amplifiers of human folly? A more clinical view has emerged in response to the naive view of information. This is the populist view, which sees information not as a pathway to truth but a tool of domination. The populist view sees information as a weapon for manipulation and control instead of searching for truth. They think that there is no universal truth. Everyone has their own truth, which they wield to vanish reality. In this worldview, power is the only reality. Truth is negotiable. Facts are fluid. What matters is the ability to control the narrative. Charismatic leaders, influencers, and ideologists become the new highest priests, shaping reality with confidence and repetition. And because humans are narrative creatures, we follow, we align ourselves not with evidence but with stories that resonate with our emotions, fears, and hopes. So what do we do with all of these? Should we abandon information entirely? Retreat into myth and intuition? Not quite. Ultimately, information is neither a neutral vessel of truth nor merely a weapon of control. It is a dynamic force shaped by human intention, capable of both enlightenment and deception. Our task then is not simply to gather more data. It is to cultivate discernment, the ability to tell what matters from what doesn't, what is real from what is performative. We must relearn how to think deeply, question assumptions, and see meaning, not just matrix. Use critical thinking as the path forward. Is more than information. It is better interpretation. It is the rekindling of wisdom in a world obsessed with data and quantity of information. We live in a time of unprecedented access to information, but we must remember, more information does not mean more understanding. The human brain is not just a data processor. It is a meaning maker machine. Meaning is forged not in the accumulation of facts, but in the weaving of coherent and constructive stories. As we stand on the brink of an AI-driven future, we must decide what kind of stories we want to tell, what values, visions, and truth we want to uphold. Because in the end, it is not the quantity of our knowledge, but the quantity of our wisdom that will determine our survival. This is not a call to turn away from information, but to transcend it, to use it not as the end, but as the beginning, not as a weapon, but as a bridge, not as a distraction, but as a guide towards something deeper, a shared story worth believing in, a better future.